Good morning. Good morning. I'd like to ask you to just take a seat and let's get ready to have the best day ever, okay? Let's start off by giving ourselves a big round of applause for just being here. Good morning again, and welcome to the first Monterey County Educational Leadership Summit. I am Betty Lusk, President of the Monterey County School Boards Association. Thank you, colleagues. Vice President of the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, Board of Education. And I am really happy to see this room filled with colleagues, with fellow board members, newly elected or continuing veterans. It's really a pleasure to have you here, and I'd like to have you at this time stand so that we can have the presentation of colors by the Seaside High School JROTC. This color guard is led by, and where is he? Colonel Chuck Hurd, a man that makes a difference in the lives of kids. Let's give him a round of applause.
Turn, march. Left turn, march. Color guard, halt. Present arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Tiffany, come here just a moment, please. Let's give Miss Tiffany Jones another huge round of applause. What a beautiful job. We're so proud of you. Tiffany is from the Millennium Charter at the County Office of Education. So we know that we're in good hands with leaders like you and the JROTC. Dr. Katowski will be presenting some certificates to you before you leave today. Thanks again for coming. All right?
For inviting me.
I'd like to begin. Thank you, and have a seat and continue to enjoy your breakfast. I'd like to introduce the officers of the Monterey County Boards Association. Vice President John Thibodeau, are you here, John, from the Pacific Grove School District? Okay, thank you. Thanks for letting us know that. Let's give him a round of applause in its absence. Our treasurer, Sonia Haramia. Let's give her a round of applause. Continuing with the California School Boards Association delegates for Region 9, Lila Kane with the Salinas Union High School District. Lila. County Delegate John McPherson with the Monterey County Board of Education. John, are you here? He'll be coming later. And CSBA Director Catherine Ramirez. Is Catherine here? She's not here yet. All right. I'd like to ask all of you to just stand once again, and let's recognize ourselves this morning. One more time. Let's stand. We're going to be sitting a lot today. Thank you. Thank you. There are two educations, according to John Adams. One should teach us how to make a living, and the other should teach us how to live. Another famous person, Ralph Waldo Emerson, said that the secret in education lies in respecting each student. And one final quote: when educating the minds of our youth, we must not forget to educate their hearts. Would you agree with that? It's indeed an awesome responsibility to take on leadership, and congratulate yourselves. You have had a resting period. Now the work begins. Leadership is really about unity. And how can we do anything unless we're unified as a team? The National School Boards Association, the California School Boards Association, all state clearly that our responsibility as local school districts is to do one thing, and one thing first and foremost, and that is to set a direction for our kids. Our kids. They have to be ours in order for us to do the hard work that's necessary to prepare them for the 21st century. Today, I want to have you join me in thanking a visionary leader who has put kids first. This leader had a dream last spring, and today the dream has been fulfilled. Miss Judy Pennicook, where are you? Come on up. On behalf of the Monterey County School Boards Association, we would like to present you with this very small token of our appreciation for your untireless efforts, for your vision, and for putting feet to the fire. Feet to the fire in that you brought forth all of these partners in providing this day of empowerment for all of the school boards in Monterey County. Thank you, Judy. We appreciate you much.
Thank you so much. That wasn't in the script.
No, it wasn't. And one other thing that's not in the script. Dr. Nancy Kotowski, would you please come? All right? On behalf of the Monterey County School Boards Association, it's indeed a pleasure to thank you for all your support and for your visionary leadership in taking us to a new level in our county. We love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody.
And now Judy is going to really set the stage for all the work that we'll be doing today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Lusk. Seaside Color Guard, if you're out there getting some breakfast, and Tiffany Jones. By the way, I talked to Tiffany beforehand, and she indicated that she's likely going to go on The Voice. If we do, we need to all dial in for her because she's aces. I'm so pleased to have all these young people here to help us start our day. Good morning, and how great it is to see all of you here today. I've often quipped that I should sign up for a 12-step program. Hello, I'm Judy Pennycook, and I'm a recovering politician. I have been elected in this county for 28 years, and I'm not exactly sure that I need a 12-step program. Perhaps my husband would have different ideas. But as many of you know, politics can be addictive. My husband calculated that upon completion of the term that I just won, I will have been elected half of my life. 32 of then will be 64 years. And while politics can be both exhilarating and intoxicating, there's probably a more fundamental reason why all of us got involved. In my case, it started when my children were very little. I sat in the North Monterey County Unified School District board halls, thinking that as a business leader, as a person with primary, preliminary teaching credential and early childhood experience, I would have a lot to offer. I went there with my heartfelt concerns, and I oftentimes made my testimony at the podium, and only to look and see that it seemed like they were just waiting for my lips to stop moving. I finally decided that the only way that I would really be able to affect positive change was to get one of those seats up there, and I hadn't a clue as to how to do it. But I figured first and foremost, I'd likely need to get some things together. So it was with that same idea of getting monies that transpires into this. My daughter and son, hand in hand, we went door to door to businesses saying, I'd love to get your support. I'm running for this school board position, and could you help? After about an hour of this, my daughter, very precocious 5-year-old, looked at me and said, I don't like doing this. It feels like we're begging. And I said, oh, quite the contrary. We are offering these businesses an opportunity to improve the education of their community, and they would be downright hurt and offended if we didn't come forward and offer them this unique opportunity. My daughter looked at me, said, I don't care what you say, it's still begging. But it was in that same sense of wanting to make a difference that began as the genesis for this day today. In education, we know that we're facing sweeping, unprecedented change. The educational landscape has become exceedingly complex, and now as ever before, we as board members really need to be tooled up, superintendents and board members alike, to meet the changing needs. And as our packet says on the cover, we need targeted and relevant information to develop the knowledge, tools, and relationships we need to make good, informed, and collaborative decisions. So the idea was born to put a state-of-the-art conference together at a world-class site with no cost to the participants. It sounded simple enough, right? But putting on such a simple idea and this conference, I've learned is far from simple. First, I figured that once again I needed to raise some money. This made me think back at all that I'd gone through before, and so I just started basically dialing for dollars. And what I found was uniquely, our community again came to the challenge. They stepped forward, and I'd like to ask each and every one of you to take time with our sponsors today and let them know how much you appreciate their believing in us, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. And I'd first like to recognize the venue. We needed a world-class venue because we're doing world-class work. Meeting the needs of children is our number one thing that we can do. And so I went to my friends at the Pebble Beach Company, and they graciously, and here we have Mark Stillwell, now wearing 2 hats as a board member, and also executive here at the Pebble Beach Company, Mark Verbanich, who was heretofore here, and his successor, Susan Murfeld. Susan, I don't know where you are. I haven't seen you yet. She'll be here. And certainly Julie Bullis and her remarkable catering staff, not to mention all the IT people that have been here working with our IT people to make sure that you can hear us today and see us. We also need to appreciatively thank Lou Lozano and Marguerite Leone and their firms, Lozano Smith and Nielsen, Merksimer, Parinello, Gross, and Leone, for not only their generous cash donations, but the time and preparation getting us to this point today, and for their participation in 2 of our segments that will help us in training and getting to the new place we need to be. Thank you, Marguerite and Lou, and all your other team that's here. I saw Tom, and I know there's others as well. We also are indebted to NTD Architecture for their generous monetary donation and for lending us their expert conference planner, Tanya Arabian. Tanya, are you in this room, or she's probably running around taking care of everything? Chris Vincenzo, I'm not sure if Chris is here yet, but your donation and energies are just, I can't thank you enough. You cannot imagine what this would have been like without Tanya telling me that, well, maybe you ought to do it this way. Very kindly and gently, but she was dynamite. Next, I'd like to thank Chevron Energy Solutions, MCOE's partner in our recent solar project. And I saw Courtney here earlier, Courtney Jenkins, and also Emily Douglas. They may be out in the halls. Thank you for your generous support. And make sure, there they are, wave. And make sure you take time to find out how Chevron has been able to help us with our solar needs. We're doing great things, and we're returning dollars to the classroom thanks to their help. The Child Abuse Prevention Council and its executive director, David Meredy. I saw David at the back there. David, could you stand so people can recognize you? Also deserve not only the thanks for their contribution here as a sponsor, but also for their continuing efforts to prevent, report, and respond to child abuse and neglect. Thank you, David. I'm proud to be on your council. Office Depot was kind enough to donate materials and gifts for today's summit. Thanks to Office Depot and their representatives here today, including Bridget Urad, and they're out at the tables as well. Finally, thank you to our partners in the construction area, to Block Construction, John Hout and Kevin McIntosh. They may be out at their tables as well. Thank you for your donation and your continuing commitment to education. I think they're maybe appearing. And to Ethan Hare and the other hair construction representatives, thank you for your generous sponsorship. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Don Chapin of the Don Chapin Company. And thank you, Don, not only for your contribution, but I'm told that Don has me beaten by a year. I believe he's been elected in Monterey County for 29 years, dedicated out the kazoo. Every time you turn around, Don's there to help improve things for our community, and particularly our children. Thank you, Don. He's here wearing 2 hats as well on the Lagunita board. The sponsors really made it possible, but my thank yous would not be complete without acknowledging the leader who brought this conference from concept to reality, our own Monterey County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Nancy Katowski. Nancy and her talented and dedicated staff have worked tirelessly, and I can tell you, Tom Moonaghan, who's here till 11:30 last night, lives in King City, came back and arrived by 5 this morning. That's pretty much indicative of the dedication of the MCOE staff. And I can't go into all the people and all that they've done, or we'd be here all day just thanking them. But thank you to Nancy's dedicated team. Nancy and her talented and dedicated staff have worked tirelessly to give us a conference that promises to be second to none. She and her team have assembled an extraordinary group of speakers and sessions for you today. The topics are timely and relevant. The speakers are knowledgeable and engaging. Our goal today was to have no boring sessions. And from the looks of it, Nancy and her staff succeeded. Every time something would pop up and I'd go, snooze factor. Nope, not gonna do that. So all of the speakers today are triple A. We've got the A team for us because you deserve that. In fact, there are so many exciting breakout session choices that I've had a hard time deciding which to attend. Fortunately, we're filming most of them. And with the help of our students from McCate, Monterey County Office of Education Media Center for the Art and Education and Technology. Can we give them a round of applause? So without further ado, I am pleased to introduce a woman who needs little introduction, our County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Nancy Katowski.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Betty. Oh my gosh, this is just incredible for all of you being here today on this gorgeous day. Some of you started out very early this morning. I saw you arriving here probably even by 7:30 this morning. Some people were already here. So the excitement in the air is tremendous for the potential of what we have going forth. What a great opportunity this is to come together with your local school boards and with your colleagues throughout Monterey County. And we have people here all the way from Bradley to North County today. So everyone has made it here, and we're so thankful to have each and every one of you with us. I would like to thank, too, our sponsors. Let's give them all a roaring round of applause. They made this possible for us. Woo! Really heartfelt thanks to each one for this. Think about the investment made to bring you here to this place. It's a new level. It's a new level that we're at today, and that's just the beginning. It's a new level of to where we're going to go today. And it was the belief in us and the importance of our work that our sponsors came together and responded overwhelmingly to Judy's calls and to the support. Everyone stepped up to be here for you because they know the important work that you're doing and the challenges that you face. I'd also like to take just a moment, because this was a goal of the County Board of Education, and this is an example of what happens when a board sets a goal and sets the goal high and works for it and achieves it. And this summit is a goal of the County Board of Education, and I'd just like to introduce our president of the Monterey County Board of Education, Harvey Kuffner. Vice President John McPherson. He'll be arriving a little bit later. He had business obligations. Of course, Judy Penny-Cook. Woo! There for that, for all she's done. Ron Panziera, all the way from South County. And Mary Claypool with us today from the whole peninsula area. Thank you. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that this is very much like, what we call a G130. We are a very special group of people, and we're gathered for this special day in this special place. Our intent today is to set forth the next level of leadership to which our schools and districts need to go for our students, for their future. It's what our students deserve. It's what our teachers deserve, is our leadership. To be an elected official is to be elected by the people and elected for the people. This is a tremendous responsibility that we have been entrusted with. I think that's why you're called trustees. You are given an incredibly sacred trust by your community for the future of their children, our children, each and every one by name. And it's the leadership and it's the direction that you set as a governance team that's going to move your district to that new level of excellence to which you must go. We must do it for our children. This is what the public has elected us to do. I know that when I look at the face of any person here, and I have the whole county that I work with, but I look in people's eyes, and they are saying to me, I put my trust in you. I have entrusted my most precious possession, my children, our children, to your leadership, to what you're going to do for them. They have to be front and center. They have to be what's most important. And it really takes a courageous leadership and commitment on every one of our parts to fulfill that mission, that vision, that dream, and to set that forth for the community. The community turns to us for that leadership. And when great leadership is in place, great things happen. People have a sense of where they're going. They know what their part is that they can play. what it does is it calls forth all the talents and abilities of the people within the community to find their way of contributing toward achieving that goal. And that's really what America is all about. Creative imagination, innovation, the engagement of everyone in the community, finding their place in what they can do, and allowing them to soar to those boundless heights in making their contributions, in bringing in their resources, of finding their place. The door has to be open to them. When they come out, let's hope they're coming out to the schools. To the schools is the place where it's all happening, and to the classrooms of our county. Then they're not going to be packing into board meetings. And you know, the great Leon Panetta said something that I think encaptures the whole sense of of where we are in our democracy. And he said that we govern either by leadership or by crisis. And if we're not governing by leadership, then we're dealing with crisis, one after the other, after the other, after the other. But when we govern with leadership, there is direction, there's a sense of what the goal is, there's a sense of where everyone fits. It's like a well-functioning body. The whole system is functioning, each having its diverse parts in what needs to happen and what we do and where our place is, and that's every member of the community. And all surrounding the child, the children, each and every one by name. And when we're all working toward that good, we're going to see our children soar to the boundless heights to which they can go in their lives. Not to limits that we put upon them, you know, to, potential. I see your potential. We have no clue what their potential is. Their potential, they can soar to boundless heights in their lives, in who they are and who they're going to become as they grow. That is our responsibility as we set forth that vision and that direction. And this summit today is intended for us to move to a next level of leadership. And it begins, as Betty said, with the unity of how we come together as a body and how we're going to work together to set that direction, that vision, and let everyone find their place and know where they're headed. It is intolerable to have people going in another direction. In the periphery vision, that kind of stuff. Where we're focused and where we're going and where the people speak that they want us to go is with the child in the center and the direction that we're headed. So I call on all of you now today to make the very most of this as an individual and as a member of your governance team. Go forth here and really be a ever stronger governance team.